Hello everyone, welcome back to English on Autopilot and Coffee Chats, the place where I speak to you as if you and I were sitting down having a cup of coffee at a cafe. In these videos, I don't use a script, I speak to you naturally. This is an advanced video, and all you need to do is sit back, relax, make yourself a cup of coffee, tea, whatever you like to drink, and understand what I'm saying. Understand the meaning of what I'm saying and learn English naturally, acquiring the language. And today, I'm going to talk about something that is going to help you speak English even better and also help you do a lot of things better. And it's something that I still need to work on. Let's get into it. Today, we're talking about our inside voice. We're talking about the voice in our head, that inner voice that speaks to you. When you're doing something, well, for me, it speaks to me all day. I'm always in my head. I'm in my head a lot. And what we say to ourselves, the things that we say to ourselves when we're speaking in our head, impact us a lot. And it's something that I still struggle with. Because this voice that we have going on in our head, when we think of ourselves, when we talk about ourselves, it impacts us in a way that's huge. It has a huge impact on us. And it's something that I worked on even while I was in therapy. When I was talking to a therapist, it's something that is super important. And a lot of the times, we don't even think about it. From the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed, my head is on, my brain is on, and I'm sure you feel the exact same way. And it's not about turning that off. No, I don't think it's possible to turn that off. Maybe with a lot of meditation, things like that, you can work on making it a little quieter. But I think we don't need to turn it off. I don't think it's something that's beneficial to turn it off. However, I think how we speak to ourselves, the type, the tone of voice, whether it's positive or negative, is super, super important. Let's get into that a little bit. For example, when we're talking about speaking a foreign language, it's normal that we have a ton of emotions when we start speaking, when we get to that point where we need to speak. I remember first moving here, and before I said anything, even if it was just ordering a cup of coffee, I'd repeat in my head over and over and over again the order. Hi, I'd like a cup of coffee, please. Over and over and over in my head in Spanish. Over and over. And normally, when I ordered, it went well. It went okay. There was no problem. Sometimes I would make a mistake. Maybe I wouldn't pronounce a word correctly, or maybe I'd even forget a word. And what would I do after that? I would think in my head, oh, I'm so stupid. I know how to say that. I can't believe it. Oh, I'm just so dumb. I can't speak Spanish. I'm terrible at this. It's something that I'm just awful at. I'm never going to be able to speak Spanish well. And what did that do? Did it help me speak better the next time? Did it help me the next time I ordered Spanish? No. And in fact, what it started to do was make me nervous to speak Spanish, even more nervous than I already was. All of a sudden, I was in my head, and I had this idea of myself. I thought of myself as someone who spoke poorly, as someone who couldn't speak Spanish. And while at the time I didn't speak much Spanish, that mindset is hard to get out of. Once I started learning a lot, once I got a ton of input from comprehensible input, and I was at the point where I understood a ton of Spanish. I was able to watch TV shows, even movies. I was understanding Spanish super well. That inside voice remembered everything I said to myself earlier, before I started with comprehensible input. I can't learn Spanish. I'm dumb. I'm not someone who's going to be able to speak a foreign language. And this comes from even before I started with this, when I was in Spanish classes. This I'm talking about when I was 13, 14 years old. And in the United States, normally you have to take a year or 2 years of a foreign language in high school. when you're about 13, 14, up to 18 years old. When you're in high school, you need to take 2 years of foreign languages. And we'll talk about this in another video, but I think the way we teach English, no, not the way we teach English, the way we teach foreign languages in the United States is not the right way. It's not a good method. Why? Because it's a lot of memorization of words, a few grammar points, and a ton of output. When you don't have the input, you don't know how the language sounds. You don't have enough vocabulary to express yourself on any topic, even what you did in the morning, or what you do every day, or things you like. We don't even have that vocab, and yet you're graded on your output, writing and speaking. And so what does this do? Because you don't have enough language to express yourself. You just started. You're in a class 2 or 3 times a week for an hour a day. I mean, you don't have contact with the language, and now all of a sudden you're being graded on a speaking assignment. It's not a long speaking assignment, but think, if you don't know the language and someone says you're being graded on speaking for 2 minutes. 2 minutes is a long time. And you get a lot of feedback. Well, you did this wrong, this wrong, this wrong. You didn't say this word correctly. Your accent sounded weird here. All these things. Even with a nice teacher, the teacher can be very nice, but when you get that negative feedback, of everything you did wrong, how is that supposed to make you feel? And so I remember I didn't do very well in Spanish classes. I got good grades because I memorized and I studied and I got good grades. But the entire time I thought, wow, I am awful at Spanish. I'm terrible at learning a foreign language. I'm in this class for 2 years and I can't remember how to say coffee or any type of word. When I'd get into a situation, I couldn't say a sentence after 2 years. So what does that make me think? Makes me think that I am terrible at learning foreign languages. That language is something I'm not good at. And that voice starts. And then of course I'm getting ready to move to Spain and I'm trying to teach myself Spanish. And I'm doing it the wrong way. I'm trying to memorize individual words, no context or anything, and then I'm upset when I can't remember the word. That's not how our brains learn. And I'm fighting myself, and I'm upset, and I'm getting stressed. I'm getting nervous. I'm about to move to a foreign country where I know no one, and on top of that, I really don't speak the language. And I definitely don't understand when people speak the language. What am I doing? And I come here nervous. I come here worried. And the truth is I am a talkative person. I like to talk. I talk a lot. You can ask my friends or my poor girlfriend. I speak all the time, even when they are tired of it. I love to speak. I love to talk to people. I love to connect with people. And yet, I came here terrified of speaking Spanish. That inner voice in my head continued. Oh, I'm so dumb. Every time I made a mistake. And let's be honest, we're gonna make mistakes. I make mistakes when I film these videos and I edit it out because I realize, oops, that's not correct. I didn't say something correct. Because I'm filming a lot of videos, it's a lot of speaking. It's normal that once in a while you make a mistake in your native language. That doesn't mean you don't speak well. You're a native speaker. You speak well. But that inner dialogue, that inner voice, has a ton of weight. And it's not just with languages for me. It's with everything I do. When I make a mistake, I'm way harder on myself than anyone else. If I make a mistake while I'm cooking and I add way too much salt, I go off in my head, oh, I'm a horrible cook. I'm so clumsy. I'm clumsy. It means I'm not very agile. When I move, I make mistakes. I'm clumsy. I'm a person who trips and falls or adds too much salt. Oh, I'm so clumsy. And it's not true. I made a mistake. I added too much salt. It happens. And if I was with a friend and my friend was cooking and my friend added too much salt because he accidentally tilted the salt shaker too much and too much salt fell in, what would I say to him? Would I say, John, you're so clumsy. John, you're a horrible cook. John, this is why I never want to eat your food. No, I would never say that to my friend or anyone. So why do I say it to myself? Why am I so hard on myself? And why do I say things to me that I wouldn't say to someone else? There's only one person you're with your entire life, from the start to the end. Yourself. It's the only person that is there from the beginning to the end. And why would I be mean to that person? I think when you start to treat yourself better, when you start to speak to yourself better, when you allow yourself to make mistakes and you say, hey, I'm a human. And what do humans do? We make a lot of mistakes. That's how we learn. It's okay. And when I started that with Spanish, and I'm going to be honest with you, sometimes when I'm speaking at work or with a friend and I say something wrong, how do I feel? Well, sometimes I feel silly. I feel dumb. But after I say, hey, it's all good. It's okay. I made a mistake. It's normal. Next time, I'll say it correctly. It's all good. And it gets easier. Once I've changed that mindset, once I've changed that mentality, all of a sudden now, I'm much nicer to myself, and it's much better when I speak Spanish. Because as you get in your head, as you start to say, oh, I'm dumb, I don't speak well, if you are saying to yourself, English, I'm bad at English. I'm bad at speaking English. I'm bad at learning English. You're not. You're not. You're learning. And that's great. But if you're in your head like that, that's when those negative thoughts start accumulating. They start adding up. You start with one negative thought, 2, 3, 100. That's a lot of negative thoughts in your brain that will start preventing you from progressing. When we talk about comprehensible input, the beauty of comprehensible input is you will start to speak naturally. Like when you're a little kid, words will flow out, sentences will flow out naturally without you even thinking. And you got to let them come out. Just like a little kid. Think of when you're with a little kid and they speak. They say things incorrectly sometimes. It's normal. They're still learning the language. They're still getting a ton of input. And naturally, they're going to correct themselves when they hear it over and over again, or a gentle reminder from a parent, because that's how we learn. So just because you're an adult, just because your brain is more developed, doesn't mean you learn differently. It means that we can be a lot harder on ourselves, which is again why I think sometimes for kids, they speak quicker. They speak when they're learning a second language or a third language, why people get confused and think kids learn languages better, why kids are able to learn languages even better than adults is because of how their brain is. Their brain is still developing. Sure, but also kids are not embarrassed. Kids make a mistake and they're speaking in their first language or second language and you say, no, Johnny, you don't say that. You say it like this. And they go, oh, okay, yeah, okay. They don't think over and over in their head, oh my gosh, I can't believe I made that mistake. I know that's how you say it. I can't believe I said that. No, Johnny just wants to play with his friends and Johnny's having a good time. That mistake he made it's not something that's going to worry him. It's not going to prevent him from speaking the next time. Outside of language learning, I think this has a ton of benefits. I think when I'm conscious about this, when I focus on it, when I say, I need to speak to myself nicer, and it's not easy because there's times where I'm in a bad mood or something happens and I do something wrong and I say, oh, I'm so dumb, I'm terrible at this. It's not true. And I have to stop myself. I have to stop my inner dialogue and say, hey, you made a mistake. It's all good. Continue. Keep moving forward. Whether that's at work or by myself, making these videos, editing, doing whatever I'm doing, cooking. It's all good. It's okay to make mistakes, but I don't think it's okay to be mean to ourselves. Be nice to yourself. Treat yourself like you would treat your friend, like you would treat a family member. Treat yourself like you would treat someone that you love, because at the end of the day, we need to love ourselves, and you cannot love yourself and be mean to yourself. It's impossible. It's something I'm still working on. It's something that I'm not good at still. See, right there. That's the exact moment where I need to stop and say, it's something I'm working on. It's something that I'm actively working on to get better at, because I deserve it, because I need to treat myself well. It's not something that I'm not good at. It's something that I'm still working on. What do you think? Do you think it's important to have a positive inner dialogue? Is this something that you've tried before? Is this something that you work on a lot? Let me know in the comments. I think it's really worth it. I think it's something that's really, really worth it. Let me know what you're drinking. As always, I'm having black coffee. It's my favorite. Coffee with nothing. No milk, no sugar, no cream. Black coffee. And don't forget to subscribe to keep watching more videos of comprehensible input to keep acquiring English. We'll see each other in the next video. Bye.